Welcome to Cox OC Connection. I'm Lacy Kelly, and this is Cox Civic Connection, a segment where we visit with your civic leaders. Today, we're excited to have with us Wendy Bucknum, who is the chairman of the board of the South Orange County Regional Chamber of Commerce. That's a mouthful. Welcome, Wendy.
Well, thank you very much. And a lot of times we throw a slash on the end of that and say / Economic Coalition.
Yes.
But we'll keep it simple.
We'll be talking about that too, so thanks for that reminder. The South Orange County Regional Chamber of Commerce is a different model for chambers. Can you tell us about your model and how you interface with the different chambers in South County?
Well, what we do is we are a regional chamber, so we really advocate for business and economic development on a regional level, and we focus on government affairs, legislative issues that are especially things that impact our key initiatives, which are energy, water, transportation, and workforce, housing, and things that affect that, such as regulatory issues, tax issues, anything that's going to kind of breed economic vitality. So what we do is we hold monthly meetings on Fridays, and we bring in panelists or topics that are very honed into those key areas. And we focus on those, and we really delve into things that impact our businesses, and we invite other chambers to come. They are free meetings, so we invite them to come, gain information, and then take that information back to their own chambers. So we try to provide government affairs type information, if you will, and support, and hopefully that's something that is a benefit to other chambers, while at the same time providing a high level of networking with regional leaders and such. And so part of what we do is not only do that, but provide education, but we also do some events that support people connecting with leaders in the South Orange County region. So we do things such as that as well.
Sure, and I've been to some of your events, so I know that you're connecting with the leaders that I work with in civic and local government. So I think you guys do a great job. You also have under your banner the Economic Coalition. How does that differ from the chamber? How do they relate?
Well, the Economic Coalition was really kind of organically born out of what used to be the Government Affairs Committee. Okay. And so what happened was that was an area that people were attending. We started having 80 to 100 people attend our meetings, and so that became the thing that the South Orange County Regional Chamber was very good at. So what happened was we took the government affairs side of things and we kind of branded it as an economic coalition of sorts, because we found that that's where the meat and potatoes was of what we do. That's what we're good at, and so the Economic Coalition is kind of what the old Government Affairs Committee meetings were back in the day. And I've been involved for many years, so I've watched it kind of transition. And it's been a very natural transition. It's been something where we responded to the needs of the South Orange County region, and we are asked to kind of show up, if you will. We advocate for business. So we will go to city council meetings, we will go to hearings, regulatory hearings, we'll research issues, we'll speak on them, maybe against them, but usually we're supporting things that typically are not, you don't see a lot of people show up. The business community hasn't always been very good about advocating for itself. So that's kind of how we see our role, and that's kind of what the Economic Coalition does.
That's excellent. So you really give a regional voice, whereas the local chambers are for the borders of their city typically.
Absolutely.
And who all is involved in the coalition? Can you give us just a brief synopsis of who the members are?
We have several members, a lot of which are members of their local chambers. But large businesses, we also have organizations such as the Building Industry Association. We call them our Economic Coalition partners. OCBC, we have the Community Associations Institute. So we have a lot of different business groups that are coalition partners. The gas company is one of our big partners. And so we work with whomever is interested. The toll roads has also been very involved.
Sure.
And any group that's interested in really kind of advocating for business, and,
sure.
Where it falls into our key areas of that: energy, water, transportation, and workforce housing. And of course, through all of this, we're trying to protect the quality of life in South Orange County. It is different than the rest of Orange County,
sure.
clearly.
Yeah. we have a difference between north and south, coastal and inland, and there's all kinds of variations. So I think that's great. Moving into 2014 for the Chamber, what are your key plans for the Chamber and for the Coalition? What do you plan to be addressing specifically?
Well, one of the things that I wanted to make sure I shared, so I'm going to just check on my notes here.
Please do.
We want to support and ensure our region's safe, stable, and reliable energy resources, such as San Diego Gas and Electric, their electric enhancement project. They're building a substation in San Juan Capistrano, and there hasn't been a lot of infrastructure work, not let alone energy, but roadway work to kind of provide arterials and things that we need for infrastructure. So one of the things is energy reliability, and of course water reliability and diversification of our water resources. For example, the Huntington Beach desalination project, the Poseidon Resources Company. So that's something that we're very interested in. The Cadiz Water Project was something that we were watching because, again, diversifying and having different sources for our energy, our water, and of course housing. Those are things that are really important to the Economic Coalition, and we show up. We'll go to water board hearings, like I mentioned. And so those are kind of the areas that we're going to focus on. We will continue to work on another north-south route. We will work with the TCA. You may know, and viewers may be aware, that we were one of the entities that showed up and enforced at several hearings, whether it was a water hearing or a coastal commission hearing, water board, the San Diego Water Board. We go down to San Diego and we speak in favor of this very important, from a safety standpoint, north-south route that's an alternative to the 5. So anybody that is on the 5 freeway just this past weekend probably had to turn around and go home, because that's it. That was the only route, and the traffic was stopped. So we feel that that's something very important to our businesses and to the quality of life in Mission Viejo, Mission Viejo and the surrounding areas.
Sure, and we'll get to why you say Mission Viejo in a minute. No, that's perfect. Do you find with the residents in the communities of South County any challenges? What are the opportunities to balance how the community is now versus growth, and what it takes to move into a future of economic vitality where people here are still growing their families, people are still coming to the area? Do you guys get involved in any of the struggles with the status quo versus progress at all? Yeah, we do. There are times when we will show up at a city council meeting and share our thoughts on, times are changing, what was needed in perhaps a city area that has maybe been vacant for a period of time, or the business is struggling and no one is speaking up on behalf of that maybe landowner. So we'll speak on property rights, we will speak on maybe if there's something needed because we're going into a different way of communication, technology needs, maybe messaging things differently. We'll speak on behalf of those issues, and we will research them. We'll make sure that there's a good balance with quality of life, and make sure we're considering that, because not all things that are great maybe for a business community are going to have a good impact on the quality of life for maybe that particular area or the region. Sure. So we try to really watch that and balance that. Sure. Okay, so I think I'm safe in saying you're a resource for civic leaders and council members who are making decisions on the impacts of some of those decisions in community development. And we absolutely invite leaders to contact us through our website, which is the South Orange County Regional Chamber of Commerce, SOCchambers.com or SOCeconomiccoalition.com. Okay. And also visit us on the 4th Friday of every month at 7:30 over at the Aliso Viejo Country Club, but be sure to check the website, because sometimes if it grows, are we having a particular venue? We do have to change the venue from time to time, so always check the website. Yeah, well, I've been to those and they are really great programs. You guys have really nailed the key topics as we go forward month to month. Okay, so you have mentioned several of the infrastructure and major projects in South County that you all are engaged in. I know there's several coming up for South County residents to be aware of. Can you talk about some of those, like Town Center and Dana Point or others that you all are involved in?
Well, what we do is we monitor. For example, we just went to a presentation that was really done by the Dana Point Chamber of Commerce, and it was hosted by them, but we had the leaders of the city come in and do a presentation on the Town Center in Dana Point. So we went so we could stay in the loop and be educated. That's a great example of some economic vitality that's going to happen in Dana Point. It's good for the business community, and again, they're trying to do that lifestyle balance in Dana Point. So we're monitoring that. We've been tracking the Brookfield Home project.
Where is that?
In Lake Forest.
Okay, got it.
And we have gone and spoken in favor of that project. Again, another example of a vacant property that has sat vacant and really struggled. And vacant property and buildings are a magnet, if you will, for public safety issues. And certainly it's not the best use for the neighborhood to have people hanging out, and certainly not for the property owner that's trying to do something with their land that's productive. Sure. Yeah. So we've gone and we advocated for that, and we'll continue to watch that as well.
Okay. What about the ranch plan? We hear a lot about the ranch plan. I don't have a lot of information on it. Can you share that?
Well, the ranch plan is in progress, and of course that's something that we have watched and been very supportive of over the past several years, and here it is finally after many, many years coming to fruition. And really when we look at the ranch plan, the 241 kind of comes in, or that alternative north-south route. That's so important for that ranch plan, because having having alternative access in helps with the cities that are kind of the cities sitting on the freeway, so the San Juan Capistrano, the Mission Viejo. So there's a balance of how much traffic you want going through the individual cities, and how much maybe needs to just kind of be north-south traffic. There's certain people that are going to stop at businesses, so it's balancing that for the cities that people are traveling through, and also for the ranch, so people can get to and from, and make it a desirable place for people to want to go shop and live.
Sure.
For that matter.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we have just about a minute and a half left. I wanted to double back on, you made mention of Mission Viejo. You're a resident there, and I happen to know that you ran for council there in the last election. Any plans to look at that again in the future?
Well, I am a commissioner, and I have been a commissioner for 3 years. I serve on the Community Services Commission, which is where my heart is. It's on all things parks, recs, and community events. And I would have to say that the main reason that I've gotten involved in Mission Viejo is because I wanted to be the person that came and spoke up for the people that don't speak up. So kind of the silent majority, the moms and the dads that are working, going to sports, and doing the things that we do. Those of us that do that don't usually have time to go to city council meetings. So I've always been involved. I have a passion for Mission Viejo, and I am planning on running again in 2014.
Well, I appreciate that you've been involved in our organization even as a potential elected and in your role with the community where you serve. And I want to thank you for being a public servant. We wish you luck in your election and for joining us today, because I know you're incredibly busy running the coalition and the chamber and all these different things. So thank you so much for visiting with us today.
Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you, Lacy.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to thank you for watching Cox OC Connection. That's it for now. Have a great day.